Hi everybody, I am here for my weekly review and hopefully it will record this time. It's been trying to not record for me as usual, so I'm going to try and get through it. Let's jump right in. How far along? I am 36 weeks today, and that is just absolutely amazing. I am 4 weeks away from my due date or expected due date. I am 1 week away from when he could come at an acceptable time. He could come up to 6 weeks from now, though, like I've said before, I suddenly am just still thinking that we're not going to go all the way to 6 weeks. Total weight gain, weight loss. I did actually step on the scale this past week. It was a couple days ago, and I am up a total of somewhere between 16 and 17 pounds, which is good, is really good. Because I started out overweight, they only wanted me to gain 15 pounds, but I'm still okay with that. Stretch marks, none so far. I am still at that point where every once in a while I notice a stretch mark from before, and I know that it's not a new one because it is like the silvery white and not like really angry red or big or whatever. So every once in a while I will notice an old one showing up, and then it goes away after a couple days, and I haven't noticed any new ones. Sleep is still good. I am waking up more when I need to turn over, not because I'm uncomfortable, but because I am being more conscious of trying to stay on my sides, and specifically trying to stay on my left side, because you are more likely to get varicose veins if you lay consistently on your right side. So I think because of that, anytime I feel the need to turn over, I automatically kind of wake up, but I'm not waking up to get up to pee or anything like that. But I'm kind of weird with that, apparently, through pregnancy. Best moment of the week was definitely our ultrasound yesterday. The ultrasound tech totally sucked. She was awful, but the ultrasound, seeing your baby is amazing. Seeing him move, he was sitting right on top of my cervix, and the placenta is moved out of the way, totally up. We are good to go. No issues with the placement of the placenta. So we are extremely happy about that. I'm not totally surprised by that, but a little bit, and I'm very happy about that. What I am completely surprised about is the fact that he has hair. And during our ultrasound yesterday, I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so every ultrasound we've had, his head has been really smooth and you can see the bone, and then there's no like fuzziness, but there's some fuzziness at the top of the bone. Is that hair, or is that just the ultrasound machine? And she goes, oh no, that's hair. I was like, he has hair. And she goes, you're here for a very serious matter, da da da. And I was like, well, yeah, but we've already established that that's good. So, I celebrated that and we were good with that. But he has hair, and, I was totally bald for the first 2 years of life. And I'm not talking like little peach fuzz. I'm talking like bald for 2 straight years. And I'm just kind of excited that he has hair. Insignificant maybe, but it was kind of funny. Let's see, movement, still not a ton of kicks and jabs at this point. Definitely more rolling. You can tell he's kind of trying to stretch out but doesn't have the room. And I kind of feel bad that he doesn't have enough room. But, soon he'll have all the room he wants. Food cravings, none. Anything making you queasy or sick? No. I am showing differently now. So my stomach measurement itself is exactly the same as the last 2 weeks. But if you compare pictures side by side over like 2 weeks ago, last week, and this week, my stomach looks bigger in the last 2 pictures. This week and last week look about the same, but from the week before, it looks way different. And I think that's just because of how everything is sitting. So because he's getting lower and everything is getting pushed forward, I look bigger, but the measurement is exactly the same. My stomach was doing this thing where it was like wider, but closer in, and now it's narrower again and farther out. I was never wider than my hips, but it's now just sitting farther forward than it was. So I'm not bigger necessarily. I'm just showing differently. And so now I've gotten to the point where people are definitely asking, is the baby here yet? Oh my gosh, you haven't popped yet. Like all of those kind of comments. I'm like, nope, not yet. We've got a while to go. He could stay in there for a while. So anyway, leakage is the same. Labor signs, there's no true labor signs, but I am definitely having a lot more Braxton Hicks through the day. They are something that's consistent through the day. They aren't coming at consistent times. Like I can't time them to the point where it's like, oh, they're coming every 5 minutes and lasting 45 seconds and, this is going on for 3 hours or whatever. But they're fairly consistent throughout the day. They last about a minute to a minute and a half, and then they go away. Nothing that hurts, but I definitely take notice. And what has changed is that he is now taking notice to them. Before, it was very much like, oh, I thought he would be moving, and that's what was making my stomach feel kind of strange. And then I'd realize, oh no, I'm having a practice contraction. And he wouldn't really take notice. I would still feel him move. He wouldn't really move differently after the Braxton Hicks. But now it's like he totally quiets down for it. And then after it passes, his movements are a little bit different. It's almost like he's in there going, whoa, what was that? So he's either gotten big enough that he feels the squeezing, or he's just taking more notice to it. For a lot of labor and delivery dreams, which some are totally normal and beautiful and wonderful, and some are really, really weird. Belly button, in or out? That is a really hard question for me to answer. So my belly button itself is still inside, but throughout the day or right after I eat, even though my belly button is still inside, it does like have a bump. So here's my belly button, and you can see the belly button itself is still inside, but the skin has like come over. I don't know, it's like goes up. And so through the day, sometimes it'll like pop out a little bit like this, but the skin is still inside. So it's still an innie, but through the day, it'll like pop out a little bit like that. So it's not really an outie, but it does sometimes push a little bump out. I don't know. So I don't know. Wedding rings on or off, they are still on. I am starting to swell a little bit more often. I think a big portion of that is that it has been near 90 degrees almost every day for the past week around here. So I swell in heat anyway, but some of it is definitely end of pregnancy stuff. My face is a little bit swollen. Let's see. Happy or moody most of the time? Happy most of the time. I do have a little bit of weepy moments here and there, thinking about pregnancy being over, but I am so excited to meet him, and I'm actually really excited for labor and delivery. Milestones, getting to 36 weeks, huge. We're a month away, we're 9 months, I'm super excited. Having more Braxton Hicks, I feel like, is definitely a milestone. Him being so low and forward, I feel like is a big milestone because it's definitely signifying that he's really getting ready, and my body is really getting ready for labor and delivery. What else? Other symptoms that I haven't been able to talk about. My stomach is very, very veiny. I think just because everything is pushing forward, it's pushing the veins into the skin. So I'm very veiny on my stomach, and I've gotten to that point where my skin is stretched out enough that if you touch it, it goes really white and then goes back. But you can see like every time somebody or something touches my stomach, it goes white, which cracks me up. I have been getting some pregnancy mask, which depending on where you are, it's called cloasma or melasma. And I noticed it because of a video actually, and there was just like a dark spot right here, and I was like, what is that? Looked in the mirror, and it's very faint, but it was there. And then I noticed some splotches all the way this way. So I am having some of that. I know it goes away after pregnancy, and I'm not particularly worried about it. But other than that, I do notice if I lay down on my back, I'm fine. But if I lay down on my back and my hips are slightly elevated, then after a few minutes, I will start to get short of breath. I also notice if I lay flat on my back on a hard surface for more than a couple of minutes, it's harder to roll over to get up because it hurts right above my hips. So if I'm on a softer surface, I'm okay. But if I'm on a hard surface, that gets to feeling kind of weird. Definitely nesting. Nesting is huge right now. I want to get everything done. I want to get it done now. I want to be ready. And that's pretty much it, I think. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about home birth prep, I'm going to be making a video of what things we were told to get and what we have done for home birth prep. Hopefully soon I will be having a nursery/playroom tour and some of the other birth prep videos up. So I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm sorry this is a long video, and I will talk to you later. Bye.